Well, good morning. We are in Ubud, Bali, and we're up enjoying ourselves for a nice walk up on a trail to relax and get away from the madness of the city. Oh my goodness. The traffic of the city, sometimes even in the morning, boy, it gets busy down there. But I enjoy to get up here and just go for a nice walk like this. It's nice and cool in the morning. It's not too hot yet. And I wanted to talk to you today about one of the top questions that I get in the comment section, which is about how I handle money overseas. How do I handle cash? How do I handle banking? How do I handle credit cards? All of these things. These are very good questions. For someone who is a full-time traveling nomad like me, it matters how I handle my money, both physically in my hand and all the types of transactions that I do. And I'm gonna cover all of that for you today in this video so you fully understand what I do and maybe you get some ideas for what's best for you. We're also gonna have ourselves a great bite to eat. Oh man, I'm ready to enjoy a good meal today. And we'll find ourselves a nice place to relax and have a coffee or a juice and just kind of chill and enjoy ourselves. Man, we got a lot to cover. We're up here in this beautiful hike up in the hills in Ubud. We better get going. Every morning I enjoy just getting up early and going for a nice walk like this. By noontime, 1 o'clock, there's lots of people out on the trails. Ubud gets busy in the afternoons and in the evenings. You start out in the morning like this, it's just us. We got a lot to cover. So let's talk about how we deal with cash and ATM cards, because that's the number one way that I utilize money when I'm overseas. I set up an online banking account, and I'm gonna give you some suggestions here while we're talking, okay? I'm gonna give you some suggestions up in the corner here that you'll be able to look at. And these are banks that offer an online banking account that you can look into. None of them are sponsoring this video or anything. These are just online banks. And these online banks specifically offer overseas no transaction fees for ATM cards. They give you an ATM card that you can use when you're overseas that you don't have to worry about paying for fees. I'm gonna tell you this adds up because I use an ATM card maybe twice a week. And if it's a $3 fee, we're talking $6 a week. I mean, come on, you know, this adds up. That's what, $24 a month in fees? Not to mention the other things we're going to talk about in this video about other ways that I save money when I'm overseas. It adds up, okay? So I utilize a bank account that's online that I can easily access anywhere on earth to manage my money. The money that I earn through my dividend stocks goes into that account. I can then withdraw it from an ATM card anywhere on earth without worrying about transaction fees. And that saves me a lot of money. It also means I don't have to worry about these extra fees being added on. Now, one of the great things too is that these online banks, a lot of them, they offer a high interest rate on the money that's in them. So you actually earn pretty good money while the money is in that account. So you get kind of like the best of both worlds going on. You've got one, you're earning money on that cash in the online bank, pretty good. Two, the ATM card that they give you, you can use anywhere on earth without paying an ATM fee. That's like a double win. In Bali, you're gonna find some of the coolest coffee shops anywhere on earth. And I just love to discover them. Here I am in this amazing location that's at the top of a trail, way into the mountains. And this place is not only cool and eclectic like this, but it has Wi-Fi for people like me that kind of work on the road. They get us. I mean, Bali gets this type of travel, this type of nomad lifestyle. I just figured I'd pick up a cappuccino and relax. Look at how cool this place is. The number one question that I get from you in the comment section is about travel healthcare, travel insurance, travel healthcare. If you look at the first line in the description, you will find a link to Genki Travel Healthcare. It should answer most of your questions. I love to take a break like this, just get a little bit of caffeine in me and relax. You know, I try to remember that this is really what it was all about. This is why I retired early. This is why I moved to a low-cost part of the world.
What about my use of a credit card? You know, I'll tell you, I don't use credit cards that much, but I do for important things like what sometimes when you check into one of the hotels, they want to see a credit card. Sometimes you just find yourself where you didn't go to an ATM and you got to break out the card. But I want to make sure that the cards that I use do not have, hold on, let me get out of the way of this scooter here. This trail, you got the scooters coming up through here. You want to make sure that the credit cards that you use do not have foreign transaction fees. You don't want to have fees that are for foreign transactions, and you don't want to have fees for foreign conversions. Whenever I utilize either my credit card or if I utilize my ATM card, I do not accept the foreign conversion. I just say no. Now, most of the time I've noticed lately in 2024 when this video is being made, they're not even asking that anymore, but occasionally you still see it. And when you do, my way of dealing with it is I say no transaction conversion, because basically I'm not paying for it either way. So again, it's really the best way to go. I'm gonna put some up here for you to see. This is a Visa card that's available, very well known by the Chase Sapphire Group. There's MasterCards available. Of course, Amex is very well known as an overseas card that's available. None of these companies are sponsoring me. These are simply cards that people utilize when they travel overseas because they're not paying all those transaction fees. They don't want to, and I don't want to. I don't want to pay transaction fees overseas on my use of a Visa card, and I don't want to use an ATM and get charged for that either with transaction fees or conversion fees, none of that. I want to operate overseas the same way as if I was back in my home country.
By using this system, I don't have to carry a lot of cash with me when I travel. I'm not like bringing thousands of dollars of cash with me. That's just not safe. I bring enough cash for emergencies. Other than that, I use the ATM and it doesn't cost me anything.
Before we talk about security, I want to talk about like a summary of what we've gone over so far. I use an overseas transaction-free ATM card, so I don't pay transaction fees. I use an Visa card that has no overseas fees as well. So using currency when I'm in another country is the same as if I'm back in my home country. No extra charges to me at all. And my bank account online, the cash that sits there earns a nice high interest rate as well, higher than most banks. So that gets us to where we are right now. Next, let's talk about what I do for security for my online banking. Let's talk about how I do security online. First, I use a VPN. A VPN is not expensive. There are several brands out there. I'll put a couple brands up here so that you can see them. None of them are sponsoring me, but it costs me a few dollars a month, very cheap. And if I buy it by the year, you get a couple months for free. And that secures my communication from wherever I am on earth back to the US, where my banks and my online investing is located. To them, I'm sitting in Dallas. Okay, they don't think that I'm sitting over in Asia somewhere or in Latin America or Eastern Europe. I'm sitting back in the US according to my bank and according to my investing platform. The second is I do not have anything without 2, 3, 4-factor authentication to back up and secure my banking. In other words, it's way more than just passwords. All of my banking is done with a password and sending an authentication code to a second device in case a device gets stolen. These devices require me to get into them. This is 2-factor, 3-factor, 4-factor authentication. Some of the devices require my face to get into them to get that. That's very important. You might have your devices stolen. When you're traveling like this, you might get all your devices stolen. You want to make sure all your banking and all your investing is secure, not just with passwords, but with authentication codes sent to a separate app and to a separate device, which the apps will actually set it up that way.
Heading back down to Ubud city center. Man, this is the kind of place I go to, and I grab fruit pretty much every evening on my way back to the room. I will stop and pick up fresh fruit and granola and milk, and those are the three things that I'll snack on in my room at night while I'm editing these videos. And all throughout Southeast Asia, you find it. One of my favorite places to go here in Ubud is Tropical. Tropical does a wonderful promotion on their breakfast. They have a fantastic menu, by the way, but I come in and I get their $5 promo for breakfast.
I'll do the juice. I'll do the watermelon juice.
Watermelon, so
Yep.
coffee, yeah?
That sounds good, yeah.
And then for the food,
Oh my gosh, it all looks so good. The Benedict.
Benedict. Okay.
You can't go wrong with that, yeah.
Everything is made fresh. I just love it. This place is an excellent bakery as well if you want to stop in and get some pastries. It gets really busy later on.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Complete Eggs Benedict meal. It's delicious. So well done. And then you've got a nice, freshly made watermelon juice on the side for $5. I think it's just perfect. This is a really friendly environment, strong Wi-Fi as well if you want to bring your laptop in and get some work done. This is the way that I enjoy my meals, healthy, low cost. This was the whole reason why I decided to leave the West and live overseas. I wanted to live a quality life, but I wanted to keep my cost of living low. And I have the ability of doing that in Southeast Asia. They have an amazing bakery here, fresh pastries every morning. I just love it.
I want to thank you for the time that you spent with me today. I appreciate the time that we chat about these things because hopefully they help you get a better understanding of this lifestyle, traveling full-time, as a digital nomad, as a minimalist, how I handle my finances overseas. If you want to learn more about this lifestyle and how I travel at a low cost, like and subscribe to the video and come along. If you want to know more about the equipment that I use, about the sandals that I use, about the backpack that I've traveled with now for years, in the description you will find links for these things. And it will give you the top gear that I enjoy traveling with in one backpack around the world. Okay, we'll talk again soon. Aloha. He's a good kitty. The mad cat of Ubud right here. Yeah. Yeah, she's a good kitty, yes she is. Are you the mad cat here? Are you the mad cat here patrolling on these streets? Yeah? Yes you are. You're a sweetie, yes you are. Well, hello and good evening. I wanted to do a travel update. It's now the end of 2024 and this is what I call a season. I call each year to be like a season of the channel. And I've been on the road now for over 2 years, nonstop. This year, 2024, I traveled all through Latin America and I've been traveling all over Southeast Asia again. Going forward, I have different countries I'm going to hit, and I'm going to focus on Southeast Asia, looking at some of the new visas that are coming out. I'm really excited about it. But I wanted to mention something. A lot of you have been talking about maybe doing something similar to this. Not just the travel, but actually doing social media. First, I encourage you to do it because I think it's interesting, and I think it's fun as well. I think it keeps you busy. The second thing is, there is a trait that I would tell you to try to make part of your life if you're going to do this, and that is the ability to adapt quickly. You are going to find so many things happening, loss of communication, Wi-Fi, anything that gets broken, any of your equipment that breaks, any of your gear that breaks, it all has to be replaced immediately. And changes that occur in the software, YouTube, and their rules. Just recently, I had a whole portfolio of music. The company that owned that music sold it. And so all of my licenses are gone for that. And I had to download all new music, you know. These things happen rapid. They happen like that, really fast. And you just got to stay on top of it and keep going. That's why you hear all new music on the channel now. And, you know, that's just the way it is. So I just wanted to say it's been an incredible year. And we're getting ready to go into the third season in 2025. I'm excited. I'll probably do an end of the year sort of update as well. But I just wanted to say, yeah, it's been a heck of a fun year. So much in so many countries, 8 different Latin American countries, many Southeast Asian countries, and I'm hitting a lot more next year as well. There's a lot to do. So it's been fantastic. Thank you so much. And keep the comments coming because I love them. All right, we'll talk again soon. Aloha.